help me out here. I'm not very good at math. So if my Cowboys somehow improbably, shockingly, against all odds, won at Washington tonight, am I right they'd only be one game back?
Yes.
Jackson desperate to get going for the 16. Not much room, trying to make a lot happen here. Big circle back by Jackson, trying to pick up blocks. And he lost the football! And it's recovered by the punter, Jones! Jackson trying to do too much. May have blown the game for Washington. Second and 1, McFadden, he gets the first down. He gets the touchdown!
And perhaps the Redskins let McFadden score.
From the 28-yard line, Kirk Cousins firing right, firing into Jackson! Touchdown! Redemption!
Unbelievable.
There was a lot of fight out there, and I thought our team did a great job responding to all the different situations that came up. Matt makes some great throws, puts us in field goal position.
From 54 for the lead. Online and good! Dan Bailey with 9 seconds left gives the Cowboys the lead.
How about them Cowboys? Good day. Welcome into First
Wait,
Take.
that's my line.
Oh,
You stole my line.
Yeah, I got to.
Oh,
I picked
what
them to
is
win,
this?
so
A
I
Giants
earned
fan
it.
just stole my line.
Whatever.
Unbelievable start.
Whatever.
Oh, great.
You should be in a good mood.
Oh,
you should
yeah.
be ecstatic.
You tried to jinx my Cowboys by picking them yesterday. Way to go. Way to go.
Whatever. And now you know I'm not a jinx because they won. Yeah, you all know who's here. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. is in New York City. I'm Molly Karam. How we doing, gentlemen?
Stephen A., I just have one question. How about them Cowboys?
Oh, whatever.
You have no answer. No response. Yeah. Next question, Molly.
All right. Way to outdo me with that.
Yeah,
How about them
thank
Cowboys?
you.
Matt Castle and the boys beat the Redskins 19-16 on Monday Night Football. 4-win Dallas, who's in last place in the division, is now just one game out of first place in the NFC East, paging Skip Bayless.
Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to take it easy on you here today, but I want to open up by saying, welcome to your worst nightmare. It is December the 8th, and my Dallas Cowboys are only one game out of first place in the NFC East. Are you believing this? Holy cowboy, they got a shot.
Oh.
They got a shot because they actually, for the first time all year, they got a break last night. The Redskins kicker finally missed a field goal mid-fourth quarter. And in the end, my kicker, the clutchest kicker on planet Earth, Dan the Man Bailey, 54 yards right down your throat, Stephen A. Smith, and I loved it. But I must tell you, before I give the floor back to you, I did not love what I saw before that last kick. My Cowboys, I'll be the first to admit, won in spite of themselves because, as I've been telling you all year, they lost 6 close games this year, and they had learned how to lose close games, and they had no idea how actually to win this close game. Before that last kick, I wanted to fire Jason Garrett and both coordinators. And I'll start out by I wanted to fire Scott Linehan because after that Des Bryant bomb of 46 yards down to the 3-yard line, Scott Linehan can't get it in the end zone from 3 yards out and has to settle for the tying field goal. That's about when I gave up right there. And then after our man, Deshaun Jackson, love him, but in this case, Stephen A., he tried to do way too much, tried to win the game all by himself, and it appeared that he had fumbled the game right to my Dallas Cowboys. And what happened? I wanted to fire Jason Garrett for dumbfoundingly dumb clock mismanagement. You have to tell Darren McFadden you cannot run out of bounds on the first play. And Darren, if you do break through for a first down, you can't go to the end zone. You just got to lie down on the 1-yard line, run the clock, kill it out, and kick the field goal with literally no time left. But no, they left 1:15 on the clock thanks to a touchdown. And then I wanted in the end to fire Rod Marinelli for after allowing a big kickoff with a face mask penalty. Rod Marinelli leaves Mo Claiborne on the most dangerous deep threat in all of pro football, my man Deshaun Jackson. Bombs away, tie game. I was on the floor. I was rolling on the floor. I said, that's it. I can't watch it. I almost turned it off because I knew what my fate was going to be, and I knew you'd come in here today to tell me that I told you they'd tease you right to the bitter end, then they would let you down the accident waiting to happen that they always are. But no, here came Lucky Whitehead with another big return. And no, Matt Castle, who looked like he couldn't even play quarterback, like he'd never even played football before for 3 quarters, boom to Dez. He's open. Boom to Dez. He's open. And all of a sudden, the clutchest kicker in all of pro football, 54 yards down your throat. Cowboys live. 1 game out of first? I'm starting to like their position. The floor is yours.
You know, I must admit it's rare that I'm rendered almost speechless, but that's the case here. I mean, I'm not going to front. I mean, the Redskins, I'm so done with Jay Gruden and the Washington Redskins. I mean, they are just allergic to prosperity at every turn. They had ample opportunities to win this game. Alfred Morris and Matt Jones are your running backs. They can't generate anything in their running game. You've got Deshaun Jackson with Pierre Garçon there. You can't generate anything in your passing game. Kirk Cousins wasn't bad. That was a beautiful touchdown pass to Deshaun Jackson to tie the score at 16 late in the 4th quarter. But at the same time, he put forth a relatively pedestrian performance, which just irritated me to no end, because regardless of how formidable the Dallas Cowboys defense may have been last night, and Sean Lee was absolutely sensational, had about 13 tackles, 2 for a loss, a sack, a forced fumble. He was absolutely sensational. He was everywhere, and he was definitely the MVP of Dallas's defense last night. But Jay Gruden to not know that Jason Garrett and Rod Marinelli were going to blitz Kirk Cousins all day long and somehow, some way be incapable of adjusting to that. I mean, my God, not only do you have a football background, Jay Gruden, your brother's up in the booth calling the daggone game for Monday Night Football. I'm sure he gave you some advice before the game. I mean, it just made no sense to me whatsoever how inept the Washington Redskins appeared offensively. Deshaun Jackson makes the most boneheaded play you can imagine. Not as stupid as Pete Carroll's call was in the Super Bowl, but it certainly wasn't on the intellectual scale, I can tell you that much, running backwards. And I do agree with Trevor Maddich and others who were talking about how selfish the play was. We both love Deshaun Jackson. We both believe he's the most elite deep threat in the game. It would be Ted Ginn Jr. if he could actually catch passes, but Deshaun Jackson could obviously catch better than him, so he gets the nod. But when you look at Deshaun Jackson and Trevor Maddich says something along the lines that it was selfish, it clearly was, because he felt he should have been more actively involved in the offense throughout the game. So because he wasn't, it looked like he was trying to make up for it on one play, and it nearly cost them the game if he didn't make up for it by catching that touchdown pass. In the end, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, Darren McFadden couldn't run the football, plus he fumbled twice. You had J.J. Wilcox on that face mask penalty on the punt return late in the game, okay? You look at Devin Street, he had one catch for about 18 yards, but he had the ball stripped. He fumbled the ball. The Dallas Cowboys did everything they could to give the Washington Redskins the NFC East lead. And the Washington Redskins still couldn't look a gift horse in the mouth and take it for themselves. I'm done with Washington. I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. I don't believe in Jay Gruden. I don't believe in the Washington Redskins. But I'm certainly not believing in the Dallas Cowboys. Luck finally came their way. You're 1 game out with a pathetic 4-8 record. Congratulations, Skip Bayless. You'll lose this Sunday to Green Bay. So all of this will be null and void. But I'm disgusted because I realize I have to listen to your mouth about the Cowboys through Friday, and I don't think I deserve that. But unfortunately, they've given us fodder. I've got to listen to this for the next 3 days after today, because today's going to be a very long day for me, and I'm very depressed about that. But it's the Redskins' fault, not yours.
Okay, I'm going to go on record early here this week on a Tuesday that Aaron Rodgers should win that game at Lambeau. That's all I'm going to say is he should win that game. And if he does, my Cowboys still will not be out of the NFC East. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But you got to give my Cowboys a little more credit than that because my defense rose and shone last night. You did.
Well,
I
give you defense. I give you defense credit.
Well, Sean Lee was obviously just playing possessed. I've never seen that. He's always good. That was great. That was like Lawrence Taylor kind of stuff. He was on every play. But my point is, my Cowboy defense gets a little better every week. And listen, Kirk Cousins at home, where they had lost just one game, has been lighting people up, lit up your Giants defense. I thought he started to figure out the blitz
Giants
in the
don't have a
second half.
defense.
Well, okay, but
Giants don't have a defense.
Well, that's the point of the East that we're about to get to. But my point is that Kirk Cousins has been on fire at home, and my Cowboy defense did a number on him because they had total 267 yards. That's pretty great on a Monday night in D.C. with the Redskins coming in as hot as they were with a chance to seize control. So you got to give them credit because, remember, they had to hang in off 3 turnovers, just killer turnovers, and they hung in and only gave up 1 field goal off the 3 turnovers.
Well, for the most part, I'm willing to give the Dallas defense credit, but we can't give them as much credit as you want, Skip. When they left Claiborne on Deshaun Jackson and gave up the late TD, that's number one. And number two, when Jay Gruden is supposed to be some kind of offensive guru, which is why he got the damn head coaching job to begin with. It was 2 reasons. He got the head coaching job in Washington because he was supposed to be an offensive guru, and he was supposed to be somebody capable of fixing RG3 so it could validate Daniel Snyder's investment in RG3 as the number 2 overall pick in the draft a few years back. Jay Gruden has basically failed on both fronts as far as I'm concerned thus far. That's not to say that he won't make amends. They won't look better. This is not something that will happen again. But with this offense being so anemic for most of this game, yes, I could give some credit to the Dallas Cowboys. I would give them a lot of credit, Skip. Let's say, for example, if the Redskins, was scored a couple of touchdowns, but after that they couldn't move the ball or whatever the case may be. I just think that you look at the level of ineptitude on the part of the Redskins, and something has to be said about that. Dallas deserves some credit because any defense does when you're able to neutralize an offense like that. But it has something to do with that offense as well. And the fact is that I just wasn't very impressed. You've got Deshaun Jackson out there who was swearing he was open. Pierre Garçon was saying the same thing. The combination of Alfred Morris and Matt Jones, they obviously believe they can run the football, but somehow, some way, schematically, things didn't seem to be vibing for the Washington Redskins. And, oh, by the way, it happened on Monday Night Football. If there is a team that appears to be allergic to the bright lights more than the Washington Redskins, I want somebody to show me who they are because I don't know them.
Yeah.
I don't know them.
I'll give you that. But you got to give me this on my day. You got to give me the ability to say something nice about Matt Castle, because I've said a whole lot of not nice things about Matt Castle.
You go ahead.
And I got to tell you, for the first 3 quarters, I couldn't even recognize him. This is a man who, I remind you, has started 77 games at quarterback in the National Football League for New England, for Kansas City, for Minnesota. Played for a whole lot of very good coordinators and head coaches. And I don't know, you want to talk about not ready for prime time? I don't know who he was for 3 quarters. And in the 4th quarter, he had a QBR of 80 on a scale of 0 to 100. And when it was time, really prime time, he made some nice throws. I give it up to him. It impressed me. You say, oh, it's just the Redskins. Listen, that was game on the line. That had sort of playoff feel to it because this division is so up for grabs right now. And he came through. That throw to Dez was right on the money, and the late throws to Dez were right on the money. So I got to give him some props here.
Well, I'll give him some props because you were willing to give Sam Bradford, meaning Sam Badford, props when he made a couple of late throws. I'm saying this is along those same lines because keep in mind that the Redskins don't score a touchdown if it were not for Deshaun Jackson running backwards 20 to 25 yards and then ultimately fumbling the football. The Dallas Cowboys don't score a touchdown if that doesn't happen. So let's keep that in mind. Matt Castle is responsible for 3 field goals.
Okay.
That's what he's responsible for, and a couple of late throws that were good, particularly to get the first down and essentially to seal the deal. So he deserves credit for that, the same that Sam Bradford deserved credit. But, I mean, it's nothing to write home about. It was a relatively pedestrian performance on his part as well.
Okay, final point. I also need to give credit to one Des Bryant, because early on he got incredibly frustrated. I did not blame him because Matt Castle couldn't even find him, couldn't even see 88 anywhere. And Des got upset on the sidelines, but he did not give up. He did not go in the tank emotionally. He hung right in, and when it was time to take over the game, Des Bryant helped Matt Castle take over the game.
Well,
it showed maturity, it showed poise, it showed a new guy with a big new contract who came through when they needed him most. Thank you, Des Bryant.
Let me tell you the biggest reason that you didn't bring up as to why Des deserves so much credit, Skip. When Deshaun Jackson caught that 28-yard touchdown pass to tie the game, the Dallas Cowboys still had a little time left. And the camera went to Des Bryant on the sideline,
yeah, I saw it,
smiling and nodding his head. To me, I interpreted that as him being, all right, it's showtime.
Yep.
It's my time. Let's go. See, and that's what I'm talking about. When you are a star and you're paid big-time money, it's moments like that that you crave. And Des Bryant knew that at that particular moment, that in order for the Dallas Cowboys to win the game, they were going to have to come to him, and that's exactly what he wanted and exactly what he was looking forward to. It's moments like that that validate why he's considered one of the best receivers in all of football when he's healthy.
I agree. Cover of Rolling Stone. Way to go, Des.
You know who else deserves credit? Clutch Dan Bailey. His 9 field goals of 50 yards or more over the past 2 seasons tied for most in the NFL. The Cowboys win without a passing touchdown. Let's go big picture now.